yeah, so I think that's kind of how I ended up there.
Thank you. Well, if people want to learn more about you and your work, how can they connect with you?
You can see, you can go to the ASU GSV Summit website if you want to watch any of the videos from our amazing summit that occurred the last 2 weeks. It's just incredible, and it's free, so you can go on and it's also pulling into anyway. They're incredible talks. John Meacham on John Lewis, on his new book on John Lewis, is to die for example. And you can get me through, I'm just dquazzo@gsv.com, and I'm on LinkedIn and all that sort of stuff. But happy to connect with anybody. We care a lot about the workforce space and its importance to the future. So
thank you so much, Deborah.
Thank you.
And your insights. You provided a really unique point of view, and we really, really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot.
See you later.
Thank you.
See you later.
Take care.
After their interview with Deborah Quazzo, Stacia, Danny, and I took some time to reflect. I started by asking Danny Johnson what were her initial takeaways from the conversation.
I think it's really interesting that she doesn't shy away from making money. You know what I mean? So some organizations, when they think about purpose, they go immediately to employee experience or taking care of, employees. And that's really great. But she doesn't see them as two different things. She sees them as very complementary to each other, which I find really refreshing.
Yeah. Her comment about, some startups may not realize if they're a philanthropy organization or if they're there to make money. I thought that was brilliant. You can have a purpose, but you should still, at least from her perspective, be making money as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was a divide that I had to get my thinking straight on as we've been through this, on the journey through this as well. That's the kind of clarity you would expect from a venture capitalist, but it's super helpful.
Well, my one quote that I wrote down from this one is related to that. And she said, purpose has to support viability. And I think that's exactly what it is.
I also thought it was really interesting. I mean, I've seen her do this with startups, but it was really interesting to hear her talk about going in and fixing the culture of some of these smaller startups right off the bat. So making sure that diversity was in place and that the culture was strong.
Yeah, there was sort of causal chain that she talked about as purpose as a cornerstone of culture and culture as an important ingredient of value creation. I thought that was interesting. I also, though she had a lot of really practical things around, particularly around learning and how learning contributes to a culture and of purpose. For example, learning as a furlough benefit. That's really the first time I've heard of that. I did hear the folks at Novartis that were extended learning benefits to friends and family, which I thought was an interesting kind of move and reflective of that. And then, of course, just the takeaway that this year has seen an acceleration of focus, not just by individuals taking more learning, but by leaders seeing it as, as she called it, a positive weapon for creating value. All right, women founders, have a great rest of your day.
Yeah. You too, Chris. Thanks so much.
We're very grateful for the team at NovoEd for their sponsorship of this season. Global enterprises rely on NovoEd's collaborative online learning platform to build high-value capabilities that result in real impact. With NovoEd, you deliver powerful, engaging learning that activates deep skill development and drives measurable business outcomes. NovoEd will host a live webinar later in the season where Danny, Stacia, and I will reflect on what we've learned, the implications for you as learning and talent teams, and take your questions and comments live. To reserve your seat, to get your questions in, and find other bonus materials, please register now at www.novoed.com/purpose. You can access the research that we discuss here and a ton of other great research and insights at www.redthreadresearch.com. And you can subscribe to the podcast, of course, at www.learningisthenewworking.org.